The next principle is authority. People do respect authority. Trust me, as a professor and Dr. Rice, it's amazing how many people believe anything I can tell them. I have to be very careful of what I say because joking or kidding is probably not a good idea for me. And it isn't for many people that have authority in their life or have authority over someone because you have a veil of authority, and if you break that and you lose your authority, it's something you don't want to do. So this is a very important principle for anybody who's in charge. And if you are around people who are in charge, you have to be very careful that you don't subscribe that they know everything. Clearly you don't. In fact, the more I've learned over my career, the more I know I don't know. So do not assume that just because they have authority or they have some fancy title or drive an expensive car or so on, that they have any credibility at all. In fact, I often tell people that if your financial advisor is dressed in a really nice suit and drives a really nice car, that is a sign that they are trying to influence you and persuade you, as opposed to them actually being a great financial advisor. There's really no reason to have all those impressive things if they come simply to persuade. So it's basically a sales technique. You'll see all of the financial advisor websites and so on are nice suits. They drive nice cars. They have Class A office space, etc. And so you think that they're being that this is just the way they live, but in fact, what they really are doing is leasing a car, renting an office space, and they don't have money. They want to have the impression of money. So it does lend credibility, and you are influenced by it psychologically, but it does not necessarily mean that they actually have credibility and do deserve the respect that you're giving them. When people are uncertain, they often look outside themselves for to guide their decisions. And if the authority or the other person that they're looking for the advice can show confidence, that is really where the authority comes in. Is, are you confident? And additionally, that do you have testimonials where other people have followed your advice or used you in some way from legitimate, recognized authorities? They can be very persuasive to make purchases or to get hired. So external influences on testimonials would be important, and of course your own ability to project confidence will provide a certain level of authority. And the flip side of that, of course, is we have to be on the lookout that we're not just making assumptions that they really know what they're doing. So this is similar to trust. We want to test to see if they are knowledgeable, and we're not just giving them authority because they have a nice suit on, or they have a title, or they have a pedigreed credential, or they have some sort of history of doing something that they could tie into whatever situation that you're in. So be careful in the decision making that you're not throwing too much authority onto someone who may have a title or a some sort of documentation that they should be an expert, and make sure you test to see if they actually know what they're doing in the circumstances that you're in. So authority is a very difficult thing to overcome, especially when they actually do have authorities, for example, being your boss. However, their ability to influence your decision making should come from their real knowledge and their real intelligence and their real experience, not the perception of that through a nice suit, a nice car, or some sort of fancy office.